CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.
How's it going, sports card fans, wrestling collectors? This is Tom from CollectAWrestlePalooza. We're doing a mailbag today. I haven't done one in a while, and I wanted to be on camera this week for a few reasons. I wanted to say hello. I wanted to say thank you for the support. If you have been watching this channel since I started, please leave a comment and let me know what your favorite video is. If you've never been to this channel before, welcome. I feature 80s and 90s collectibles with a big focus on professional wrestling, but I'll collect just about anything on this channel. And to that end, I wanted to talk about why I collect. I'm a collector for a few reasons. Primarily, I like to collect because I have this fantasy of running an eBay store that makes money. And I don't buy collections, I buy what I like, and I put them up on the eBay store. And then I have my PC of things that I pull from the things that I'm buying for inventory that I want to keep or hold on to. But I think of my collection more as a pass-through, and I don't sell much on eBay. And I think the primary reason for that is because I'm not buying collections, so I'm not, spending 20, 30, 40, 50% of comps. I'm spending 100% of comps because I'm buying stuff off eBay myself and buying what I like. I'm not as price sensitive in that. Of course, I am looking for good deals. I don't want to overpay for something, but I'm doing a standard markup and then selling it. And if the card has more value, if the action figure has more value into the future, I'm not going to raise the price. I'm just going to leave it the way it is and hope that added value in my collection is what's going to generate sales as opposed to buying cheap and then selling high. So that's one of the reasons I collect, because it allows me to just have fun in that area of my life. I've always wanted to be a business owner. I do run an Airbnb on the side, but I also would love to run a card business at some point in my life. The other reason I collect is pure nostalgia. I'm in my 40s, and that part of my life, my childhood, playing with action figures in my bedroom growing up, having posters, idolizing the Rockers and One Man Gang and Kamala, and I always liked the heels when I was a kid, but all of those memories are very near and dear to me, and it allows me to connect to something bigger than my day-to-day, particularly on the weekends. So, I think men in their 40s tend to go through a midlife type thing, and I might be there, and this is part of that whole process in life of getting through the hard stuff and trying to stay connected to positive memories and things that bring you joy. So those are all the reasons that I collect. That's what this channel is all about, is following me on this journey. And like I said, if you've been here since the beginning, I'd love to hear some comments. So tell me what you like, what you don't like. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Really glad to have you here. Think about subscribing, and then you'll get updates in your feed as I post content. I do top fives, I do mailbags, and I do wax pack openings, and everything else along the way that comes up. That's part of my journey into being a more serious collector. I'm going to post on this channel. So today I have 3 parcels. I've got this one here, which I know what's inside, I just haven't opened it. This one I got recently, I know what's inside, I haven't opened it. And this one, I don't remember what's inside. So I think I'm gonna start with this one. It's an older one, but I do know what's inside. This one represents a category of collectibles that I want to get into, but I've never really gotten that much into, and that's t-shirts. Particularly professional wrestling t-shirts. If you go on my channel, you're going to see there's top 5s of prices paid for professional wrestling t-shirts, but I think as a category, t-shirts have a lot of room for growth into the future because it's still relatively small, but it's so cool and so nostalgic. And only particular categories of t-shirts. It's like VHS. Horror VHS tends to have value. In t-shirts, it's wrestling and heavy metal bands or alternative music bands from the 80s and 90s tend to have value. But this one is from the 80s and 90s. It's not a band, but it's something that is an integral part of pop culture in the 80s and 90s. I'll just say that. So I'm going to open it up and we'll look at it together. All right, let's slit open the top and hope I don't cut the shirt itself. Let's see here. Indeed. Planet Hollywood. So I think I got one my size because I wanted to be able to potentially wear it, but I got it because this is a theme restaurant, I think. I feel like Bruce Willis might have opened it. I think there were other Hollywood celebrities that were involved, but of course it's no longer around. And Planet Hollywood was a burger joint or fast food or pub food. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the theme was that there would be artifacts of Hollywood and different things from Tinseltown in the restaurant itself, kind of like the Hard Rock Cafe. So with that in mind, I thought this t-shirt just had some real, ambiance to it. It had a real nice look to it. Let me see if I can find the size. I believe it is an extra large because I wanted to potentially be able to wear it. I didn't spend that much money on it, and that's my thought, is that this is more going to be something that I wear as opposed to something that I collect, because it just looks cool, right? It's a vintage, real Planet Hollywood shirt. I love the colors. I love the brightness. It screams 1990s, and I thought it would look pretty cool with my skin color and everything. I tend to look pretty interesting and bright t-shirt, so I wanted to wear it. Maybe I'll wear it on this channel at some point. So that's the game. I'll wear this in a video in the future, and then when I wear it, viewers, make a comment that you remember when I mentioned it before. That's going to be the game. So anyway, tell me what you think. Planet Hollywood t-shirt. Package number 2. I'm going to open this one. Must be some sort of a card. Doesn't feel heavy enough to be a slab, so I'm guessing it's a raw card, but we will see. Maybe it is a slab. Now, let's see what's inside here. Oh yes, this is a card I've been collecting a lot of. They did do the cardinal sin. They put regular Scotch tape on top, but I'll let that go because this is, hopefully, indeed it is, a 1989 Game Time Ultimate Warrior card. And even though the centering is terrible, it's not in terrible shape. Watch my channel, you'll know the history of this card. I've mentioned it many, many, many times. It's arguably my favorite wrestling card in the hobby. Probably this one and the 85 Topps OPC Scan Lens card number 1 Yellowback Hulk Hogan are my 2 favorites. And this one I only like the 1989 version. I do have some of the 1990 versions, but I don't really collect that. I just want the 89 because this is Ultimate Warrior's Rookie. It's from a very prominent set of wrestling cards, which is the 1990 Classics, but it is, I guess, the variant. And I think that that's kind of cool because on the back, the copyright says 1989 Game Time, which would have been a different licensing agent, a different company, or maybe just a different name for the same company. I don't know, but the copyright is a year earlier than the standard release. So because it is a rookie, I want the earlier copyright. So whenever I see these, I snatch them up. And the final package here, again, is from a category that I am collecting more and more, and that is sealed cassettes. Remember what I said about VHS and t-shirts, horror and heavy metal bands? Well, same thing goes for cassettes. Heavy metal cassettes have a future, in my opinion. And part of that is just the culture of the time. If you lived through the 80s and 90s and hair metal and the panic of occultism and all of that sort of stuff, you know how novel and interesting time it was to be a coming-of-age, particularly boy, in high school, and hearing all of the news and seeing all this stuff. And it was very taboo, but also very intriguing and interesting to see that stuff out in the wild. So I think that there's going to be, for my generation and perhaps the next generation, a link to that emotionally, which is going to be a reason why there will continue to be demand for this category. So again, whenever I see it, I'll pick one up, and I only collect sealed cassettes. For some reason, that's just my collecting style, is I like them to be sealed, because I don't want to worry about if they play or don't play. I don't want to worry about condition. I just want to get ones that are bright and off the shelf and just look like they're in their original form. So this is one of those. I'm taking a lot of time to preface it here. Let me see if I can get the shrink wrap off. The bubble wrap off safely so I can show you the cassette itself. Here it is. Ooh, that's why it wasn't as expensive. It has mold. Interesting. I believe that's mold. I don't know, I can't tell, but it's Ozzy Osbourne, Bark at the Moon. I'll have to look at the original listing because this obviously has some level of mold on the side, and I don't want that in my collection. Or maybe it's just dirt. I don't know. What do you think, viewers? How does that look? What would you say? Did they hide that in the pictures? I imagine if I saw that in the pictures, I would have said something, but maybe I didn't. Or the other thing I could do is just open it up. Maybe the mold is just on the seal. Maybe that's what I'll do, because it's pretty obviously something on the plastic saran here, and maybe it does not go into the tape itself. That's probably what I'll do, but anyway, what a cool collectible, but I'm not extremely happy about the condition. That happens. That's part of the journey, and you do what you can. Try to hold people accountable if they do that, but only if they weren't upfront about it in the pictures. If they were upfront about it and I missed it, that's totally on me. So anyway, have a great week. Thank you for joining me on this. Leave some comments. Let me know how you're doing in your collecting hobby. Have fun. Be good to each other. We'll see you again soon.
CollectAWrestlePalooza. CollectAWrestlePalooza.